talk to you about Table H, which stands for Hurrah, we're almost done. Really, I could probably stand here and say, what they said, because we've covered an awful lot of ground, but out of respect for the people that did come and talk at this table, I will go through my notes. I'll just go a little quicker than I might have otherwise. So, what happened? So we heard about the impacts of the fire. People talked about that they felt the impact was greater by the proximity to all the communities. And there was some discussion about what would the impact have been, what would the reaction have been if these fires had all been off in remote parts of the province, way up north and so on. And I thought that was an interesting perspective. Of course, we heard about the human side. People talked about how it was for themselves, how it was for their friends, and how it was for their family. And the one remarkable instance there was a fellow that told us that at one point he was hosting 14 people in his home. So I thought that was a pretty generous response. We heard the comments as well about evacuee and volunteer management and some of the lack of coordination and how impressed some people were with coordination. So that one was all over the map. We had a couple of fellows talk about the impact on them of the strength of these fires, the spread of the fires, that they were so much stronger than what they were accustomed to. One fellow talked about the sound of the fire, and I think we heard a comment about switching from sandbagging to fighting fires, and sometimes that was the same day. Quite a switch. Why it happened as it did. Didn't learn the lessons from the past. We've had the reports, we all know about them, and that was really the crux of it. There was a comment about our approach is not a stewardship approach, that we have this forest management industrial model, but we also acknowledge that that whole side of it is a very complex issue. Public demands. We have public demands for access to the forest, and then we have the issue of public carelessness. So how are you going to trade that off? How do you manage that one? A couple of times it came up about the political will, or lack of political will, public perception of forest management, public education, and the 4-year time frames for government. So people don't understand how to manage the forest, so they can't demand it from their politicians. What happens next? So we talked about needing more education on managing health risks and a more proactive approach to that. What mask do I need? When do I need to put it on? What do I do when the air quality is at a certain level? Better forest management practices, so slash and flash piles, monocultures, deciduous species, wildland urban interface work, a whole bunch of stuff we get into on managing the forest itself. And we also talked about the better management and coordination of the evacuees and some of the safety and health issues that have been mentioned by other tables. So that's it for us. Did I miss